Man is what he thinks about all day long. Wrong. Man is what he refuses. Desire is cheap. Discipline defines. Attraction begins with refusal. You're young, maybe 18, maybe 25. Your hours are bleeding into screens. If you don't master your inputs, you'll be mastered forever. Every trend, every algorithm, every false image programs you silently. You think you're choosing, but you're following. Your attention is currency, and you're spending recklessly. A young man scrolls at midnight. Her message pings, heart racing. He replies instantly. No answer. By sunrise, invisible, smaller, he surrendered. He thinks she rejected him. Wrong. He rejected himself. He handed over his frame. He didn't lose her. He abandoned his sovereignty completely. How many times will you let silence define you? How many times will another person's absence reduce your worth to dust? Stop. Attraction doesn't start with her attention. It starts with your filtration. If you don't filter noise, you'll never filter people. Chaos breeds desperation. If she replies slowly, you withdraw faster. If she invests, you double her energy. If he distracts you, you block him immediately. You're not what you chase, you're what you decline. You're not measured by who notices you, you're measured by what you ignore. He didn't gain respect by chasing, he gained respect by walking away. She didn't admire his effort, she admired his control and restraint. Your habits are loud. They scream your value. Every notification you obey tells the world you're weak. Every silence you enforce tells strength. This isn't a game of being clever, it's a war of standards. She tests not your charm, but your willingness to defend boundaries. Attraction is not a sprint toward approval. Attraction is the stillness of a man who refuses noise. Women feel it. Men respect it. So, ask yourself, who are you when ignored? Do you fold, or do you grow taller? Do you chase, or do you choose? You've been lied to. They said attraction is performance. No. Attraction is filtering. Filtering friends, food, media, women, everything. Noise destroys power. You will not get sugar here. You will get ruthless clarity, rules that cut, reframes that rebuild you into a standard, immovable man. You will not attract by accident. You will attract by law, your own law. Inputs guarded, silence honored, energy preserved, standards enforced without apology. Most men waste years begging for response. You will spend those same years mastering yourself. Desire doesn't build empires. Discipline does. Stillness does. Every minute of weakness trains others how to treat you. Every moment of discipline commands respect. You're always teaching. What are you teaching? If you continue drifting, you'll remain replaceable. If you sharpen now, you'll become scarce. Scarcity magnetizes. She feels it. They feel it. You know it. Attraction is not earned through begging, chasing, or tricks. Attraction is claimed by men who filter energy, control attention, and raise their standards ruthlessly. You've been taught charm wins. Wrong. Sovereignty wins. A man who governs himself magnetizes respect without asking. Control your inputs, and your outputs will follow. What you allow defines you. What you tolerate teaches others how to treat you. Boundaries aren't walls, they're signals declaring your worth without words. If he disrespects you, you cut him. If she plays games, you withdraw. If life tempts you, you choose discipline, not distraction. He didn't attract by chasing, he attracted by filtering. She didn't stay because of flattery, she stayed because his standards forced her to rise. Men 1834. Hear this. Attraction is sovereignty. Sovereignty is control. Control begins with inputs. What you see, what you hear, what you accept. Your attention is currency. Spend it recklessly and you're broke. Guard it carefully and you're wealthy. People feel when you invest selectively, never desperately. You're not magnetic because you chase. You're magnetic because you filter. Silence is leverage. Discipline is attractive. Selectivity is rare. Scarcity makes value undeniable. Stop begging for interest. Stop performing for approval. Start filtering noise. Start enforcing boundaries. Standards aren't selfish, they're survival. They separate kings from pawns instantly. What if you're not attractive yet? Doesn't matter. Start by mastering inputs. Filter distractions. Cut noise. Sovereignty first. Magnetism follows naturally. Respect becomes unavoidable. The test is simple. Who rises to your standard stays. Who refuses falls away. Attraction isn't earned. It's claimed through immovable standards without apology. This is the thesis. Guard your inputs. Master attention. Raise standards. Do this, and attraction becomes inevitable. Not trickery, not chance. Law, identity, sovereignty. Your attention is your kingdom. Whatever enters, rules. You think you're free, but if you let noise in unchecked, you've already surrendered your throne. A man's life isn't stolen in one blow. It's drained drip by drip, scroll by scroll, notification by notification, until his fire becomes quiet ashes. If you won't filter your phone, why expect to filter your life? Digital garbage in your eyes creates physical garbage in your actions immediately. Attraction starts here. Not with muscles, not with lines, with filtration, with discipline, with the ruthless choice to protect your mind before anything else. What if you're not attractive yet? That's irrelevant. Forget abs, forget cars. Begin with your mental diet. Consume better thoughts, and you'll broadcast better presence. A man keeps replying instantly to her half-hearted texts. She never commits, never shows up. The real message: she's training him to accept scraps. Silence is communication. Ignoring is teaching. Every unanswered message is a lesson. Either you teach her you'll tolerate crumbs, or you teach her respect. If she delays, you withdraw. If she invests, you double down. If he disrespects, you cut ties. If he invests, you multiply energy. He didn't get ghosted. He ghosted himself by rewarding her absence. She didn't flake. She succeeded because he allowed it without consequence once. Your frame is being programmed constantly. Every time you reward disrespect, you confirm weakness. Every time you withdraw, you broadcast strength, louder than words. Ask yourself, what messages are you teaching right now? Are you teaching people that you accept delays, excuses, crumbs, or do you demand respect? The message you ignore becomes the life you live. Ignore junk, you build value. Ignore value, you build junk. Simple math, simple results. Most men think attraction is addition, adding charm, adding lines. Wrong. Attraction is subtraction. Removing weakness, removing noise, removing every cheap impulse pulling you down. Your silence is not empty. It's a mirror. It forces others to confront their own investment. If they vanish, they were never aligned. Don't confuse patience with passivity. Patience is measured presence. Passivity is weakness. One builds respect, The other teaches people they can drain you freely. You're not unattractive, you're undisciplined. You're not unlucky, you're unfiltered. The moment you control inputs, you control outputs. Discipline is attraction. Noise is weakness. She didn't disappear because she's cruel. She disappeared because your instant responses told her she was the prize. Your actions screamed neediness louder than words. If people sense your attention is free, they'll treat it cheap. If they sense it's guarded, they'll treat it like treasure. Your attention is your crown. Your silence is your weapon. Your standards are your fortress. Defend them ruthlessly, or surrender everything without resistance. Attraction is not about begging to be seen. It's about controlling what you see, hear, and tolerate. Sovereignty magnetizes. Desperation repels immediately and permanently. Start today. Filter what you consume. Cut useless texts. Cut dopamine traps. Cut anyone who drains. Guard your kingdom. Your future depends on it. You'll notice the shift fast. Less noise, more power. Less chasing, more magnetism. You didn't change women. You changed you. They simply responded honestly. If she sends half effort, you match with nothing. If she sends full effort, you multiply. You're not needy, you're sovereign. That's attraction's foundation. Attraction is sovereignty expressed. Sovereignty is inputs filtered. Inputs filtered create outputs aligned. Outputs aligned create respect. Respect attracts. It's not magic, it's law. So stop asking, am I attractive yet? Ask, what am I consuming? What am I teaching? Because your attention today creates your reputation tomorrow. When you master your mental diet, you master presence. When you master presence, you master presence. You master presence, you master traction. And when you master traction, you master yourself. The message you ignore is the message you live. Ignore weakness, you'll live strong. Ignore strength, you'll live weak. The choice is absolute. Standards attract more than clever words. Lines may spark attention, but standards hold it. Tricks fade fast, but boundaries speak a language people can't ignore. What's stronger, memorized lines or unshakable boundaries? One is performance, the other is essence. Women aren't testing charm, they're testing if your essence can withstand pressure. Pickup lines are crutches. They disguise emptiness with sound. But silence backed by standards, that's magnetic. Because silence becomes heavy when your presence is undeniable. You wonder, when do I make a move? Wrong question. The real question, when are my standards met? Moves mean nothing without conditions. If she's inconsistent, your move is nothing. If she's respectful, your move is everything. Standards filter timing. Without them, you're stuck chasing ghosts endlessly. A man declines a date after she flakes twice. She calls him arrogant. Months later, she returns. His no echoed louder than yes. She didn't disappear, she tested. He didn't reject her, he respected himself. That paradox is attraction. When no means something, yes becomes priceless, immediately. Women don't test for jokes, they test for backbone. Every delay, every tease, every flake isn't about charm, it's about verifying if you respect yourself. If she tests, you stand. If she respects, you reward. If she plays games, you disengage. If she invests, you invest more. Your boundaries are your frame. Frame isn't theory, it's lived. Either you communicate it through standards, or you hide weakness with cheap tricks and lines. You think attraction is built by impressing. It isn't. It's built by filtering. Who passes your gates? Who meets requirements? That's your real leverage. You didn't lose her by saying no. He earned her respect. She didn't chase arrogance. She chased clarity. People crave what costs something. Standards aren't punishment. Standards are protection. Without them, you'll accept anyone, anything. With them, you'll repel nonsense and only draw those aligned with you. Stop asking, what's the right line? Ask, what's my rule? Lines evaporate in seconds. Rules echo for years. Rules are the skeleton of identity. You're not missing game, you're missing ground. Without ground, words blow away. With ground, silence hits harder than any rehearsed sentence ever could. Tricks create tension, but no respect. Standards create tension and respect. One entertains, one endures. Which do you think builds attraction that actually sustains itself? If people can move you with minimal effort, they'll never value you. If people must rise to meet you, they'll admire you deeply. Your problem isn't timing, it's tolerance. You tolerate too much. You tolerate disrespect, delays, excuses. Then you wonder why attraction feels like chasing smoke. Attraction doesn't require fireworks. It requires filters. Every man can speak, few can stand. Standing is scarce. Scarcity is magnetic. Scarcity always commands respect. She didn't test you because she's cruel. She tested you because she must. Respect isn't given. It's drawn out. Standards are the magnet pulling. You can't outsource backbone. No mentor, no book, no script can give you standards. They must be chosen. They must cost you something real. Most men lose attraction not from failure to charm, but from failure to stand. Tricks collapse when tested. Standards intensify when tested relentlessly. What if she leaves because you enforce boundaries? Then she was never aligned. Your loss is fake. Your gain is clarity and unshakable respect. If he entertains nonsense, you withdraw. If he values respect, you engage. Attraction isn't magic, it's selection. Selection only works when rejection is possible. Think back, who held your respect in life? Was it talkers, or was it those whose standards forced you to rise higher? Exactly. Standards create friction. Friction creates polarity. Polarity creates attraction. Without friction, there's no respect. Without respect, there's no desire. Without desire, there's only tolerance. A man without standards is forgettable. A man with standards is undeniable. Forgettable men beg for chances. Undeniable men create chances by standing still. Stop searching for tricks. Build thresholds. Stop memorizing lines. Build rules. Stop timing moves. Time yourself. Attraction bends around presence, not performance. Presence comes from standards. What's stronger? Memorized lines or unshakable boundaries? Boundaries, because a boundary teaches her more in silence than any clever script could say out loud in hours. So here's the rule. If she tests, you stand. If she respects, you reward. Standards first, tricks never. That's how sovereignty speaks in relationships. Standards over tricks, boundaries over lines, stillness over chasing. The man who enforces them doesn't need to sell himself, because his silence sells everything. Stillness is power. Chaos repels. You've seen men scramble, panic, overcompensate. And you've seen the rare man who waits, breathes, and draws attention by silence. Clarity is magnetic. Stillness is clarity embodied. A man who can sit in silence, comfortable, already communicates strength without saying one desperate word. Who chases a man who is already unmoved? Nobody. He doesn't have to run. He doesn't have to prove. His stillness proves everything. Your doubt whispers, what if she loses interest? Then she was never truly aligned. The right one is drawn to gravity, not desperation. Desperation leaks through rapid responses, frantic texts, nervous fillers. Presence speaks in calm tone, delayed action, controlled stillness. She can feel it instantly, subconsciously, biologically. Controlled silence is louder than noise. A delayed response shakes her more than paragraphs. Your decisive presence speaks without effort. Stillness commands attention, effortlessly. Two men pursue her. One floods her phone with memes, emojis, reassurances. The other waits 3 days, then replies with calm intent. Guess who she thinks about? Not the entertainer. The man whose absence created space for imagination. Stillness made him unforgettable. Chaos made the other disposable. If she pushes, you breathe. If she doubts, you hold frame. If she withdraws, you stay composed. If she invests, you mirror gracefully. Stillness doesn't mean inaction. It means precision. It means every move is intentional, measured, rooted. That is why it strikes harder when you act. He didn't chase, he attracted. She didn't lose interest, she revealed truth. He didn't collapse under pressure, he turned pressure into quiet command. A man's stillness unsettles people. They wonder, why isn't he scrambling? That question builds intrigue. Intrigue builds magnetism. Magnetism builds influence. Stillness is leveraged. Silence, chaos is cheap. Anyone can spam, overtalk, beg, chase. But calm is scarce. Scarcity makes people lean closer. Scarcity makes people compete. Stillness is a filter. Watch who panics when you don't rush. Watch who invests when you don't move. Stillness separates the aligned from opportunists. What happens when you delay? You show you're not desperate. You show you choose. Stillness reframes everything. You're the one deciding, not the one waiting. Every test is designed to rattle you. Every silence designed to bait you. Fail, and you chase. Pass, and she feels your gravity. Stillness reframes everything. He didn't ignore, he measured. She didn't lose interest. She revealed her standard. You didn't wait too long. You created weight. People confuse stillness with weakness. Wrong. Weakness is reactivity. Stillness is response. One bleeds energy recklessly. The other stores energy, then strikes when the moment matters. Stillness is not passivity, it's dominance under control. It's the refusal to let chaos dictate. It's the power of waiting until the right move. When you rush, you collapse. When you pause, you center. When you center, you control. That's the flow. Stillness, clarity, control, respect. Think about kings. They never rush to speak. They let silence weigh down the room. That pause alone is what crowns them leaders. Your frantic action tells the world you're afraid to lose. Your stillness tells the world you cannot be moved. Which voice are you sending? He didn't text instantly. He let time breathe. She didn't lose interest. She replayed his silence. He didn't chase approval. He embodied certainty. Stillness forces her to reveal. If she's aligned, she respects it. If she's not, she leaves. Either way, you win by not collapsing. The man who can wait owns the frame. The man who can breathe owns the energy. The man who can pause owns attraction. If you think stillness is boring, you don't understand its weight. Boring men ramble. Powerful men let silence build gravity. That difference defines influence. Every delay is communication. Every pause is language. Stillness tells the world you're centered. Centered men aren't forgotten. They're remembered as anchors in chaos. Stillness doesn't stop tests, it passes them. Tests demand reaction. Stillness denies reaction. The test collapses. That's why women chase men who breathe, not men who beg. Stop fearing silence. Start wielding it. Stop fearing pauses. Start commanding them. Stop fearing stillness. Start realizing stillness is what makes kings untouchable in presence. Your urgency is costing you attraction. Your stillness will multiply it. Choose urgency, you'll chase. Choose stillness, you'll magnetize. Power is revealed by what doesn't move. If she pushes, you breathe. If she doubts, you hold frame. If she pauses, you don't collapse. If she respects, you open. Stillness magnifies. Every word after silence lands harder. Every move after pause shocks deeper. Every yes after waiting becomes unforgettable. Stillness is the amplifier of value. A frantic man is replaceable. A still man is rare. Replaceable men text paragraphs. Rare men let one sentence echo like thunder through silence. He didn't hurry. He held. She didn't drift. She tested. He didn't over-explain. He smiled. She didn't respect charm. She respected gravity. Stillness wins. So remember, stillness isn't emptiness. It's precision. It's energy stored, waiting for the exact strike. And when you finally move, the world listens. Men waste their value by being everywhere, with everyone. Scarcity makes diamonds valuable. Abundance of attention makes you cheap. Selectivity turns ordinary energy into magnetic presence. She didn't leave because you were too busy. She left because you were always available. Availability kills mystery. Scarcity creates weight, attraction, value. Ask yourself, what's remembered longer? The man who's always present, or the man who appears rarely, powerfully, decisively? Scarcity leaves echoes. Constant presence dissolves into background noise. If everyone can access you, why should anyone fight for you? Scarcity makes people compete. Scarcity raises standards. Scarcity defines leaders. Scarcity multiplies respect. The world worships rare things, rare metals, rare art, rare discipline. Why do you think men who say no are remembered more than beggars? Your doubt whispers, but what if I have no options? Understand this. Standards create options. Desperation kills them. Scarcity forces people to notice your worth. A man who lowers standards to gain options ends with scraps. A man who raises standards creates demand. Selectivity builds gravity. Gravity attracts everything. Attention is currency. Spend it everywhere, and it's worthless. Spend it rarely, and it's priceless. The world's richest men understand this instinctively. Why don't you? The man who refuses to follow every trend is mocked first, then respected later. Scarcity feels strange, but it plants seeds of unforgettable value. Story: he didn't chase clout. He didn't follow noise. His peers laughed at his silence. Months later, he stood apart, respected, unshaken, rare. Scarcity crowned him. If everyone wants your time, give less. If no one wants your time, don't panic. Increase your standard, not your volume. Scarcity filters. Scarcity is not about isolation, it's about precision. Scarcity means not everyone gets a seat. Not everyone gets your time. Not everyone deserves access. If she flaked twice, stop rewarding her. If she invested, double down. Scarcity ensures only the worthy remain. Scarcity punishes indifference. Scarcity multiplies effort. She didn't respect you because you were available. She respected you when you withheld access. She didn't crave your time. She craved its rarity. What happens when you stop giving unlimited access? People panic. They realize attention is finite. They chase harder. Scarcity shifts the frame. You're no longer replaceable. If he chases, you withdraw. If he mocks, you ignore. If she tests, you stand. Scarcity turns tests into proof of unshakable frame. Scarcity isn't arrogance. Scarcity is clarity. Clarity is my time is limited, my energy is sacred, my presence is earned. That clarity is irresistible. Men who are everywhere are forgettable. Men who are selective are unforgettable. Scarcity makes silence louder, presence sharper, standards higher. Selectivity is not luxury, it's survival. The crowd pleaser begs for scraps. The selective man commands meals. The desperate man attracts tests. The scarce man attracts investment. Which one do you want? Scarcity makes no more powerful than yes. Scarcity makes pauses feel heavier than words. Scarcity makes choices deliberate. Scarcity makes attraction feel inevitable, not desperate. You thought availability would buy affection. It didn't. It bankrupted you. She didn't leave because you were busy. She left because you were everywhere. If she accuses you of arrogance for holding standards, good, let her. Months later, she'll remember your scarcity. Scarcity insults opportunists, but attracts the aligned. Scarcity doesn't mean cruelty. It means curation. It means only the deserving get access. It means you don't negotiate with disrespect. Scarcity is earned, not gifted.
Why do you think the king's presence is rare?
Scarcity builds anticipation. Scarcity creates weight. Scarcity ensures when he finally appears, the world bows. A man who filters his circle filters his destiny. Scarcity isn't loneliness. Scarcity is leverage. Scarcity is declaring. Not everyone qualifies. That declaration builds legacy. Scarcity is gravity. Gravity makes planets orbit. Gravity makes stars collapse. Gravity doesn't chase, it holds. Scarcity doesn't beg, it attracts. Scarcity doesn't fold, it endures. Scarcity builds kingdoms. The desperate man says, "Please notice me." The scarce man says nothing. The world notices anyway. Scarcity is silent magnetism. Scarcity makes noise without speaking. If she doubts, you don't rush. If she withdraws, you don't collapse. If she invests, you reward. Scarcity enforces hierarchy without begging, without pleading. Scarcity is the difference between a commodity and a king. Commodities are replaceable. Kings are scarce. Which one are you signaling with your availability today? He didn't overexpose, he withheld. She didn't leave because he was too busy. She left because he was everywhere. Scarcity rewrote the story. Scarcity won. The moment you understand scarcity, your attention multiplies in value. When people fight for it, you win twice. They invest, and you conserve. Scarcity separates noise from signal. Scarcity separates the opportunist from the loyal. Scarcity separates the desperate from the disciplined. Scarcity ensures your presence is never wasted. A man without scarcity is a man without borders. He bleeds energy into anyone. A man with scarcity protects his kingdom. Scarcity is sovereignty. Scarcity reframes everything. She didn't respect your constant availability, she respected your silence. He didn't laugh because you were selective. He laughed because he envied your rarity. So remember this rule. If everyone wants your time, reduce it. If no one wants your time, raise your standard. Scarcity enforces value. Men everywhere are loud, visible, forgettable. The scarce man is quiet, deliberate, unforgettable. Scarcity doesn't ask to be remembered. Scarcity ensures you can't be forgotten. The world will test your scarcity. Opportunists will mock. Women will test. Friends will doubt. Stay scarce, stay selective. Your rarity builds respect. Scarcity multiplies attraction. Scarcity multiplies memory. Scarcity multiplies respect. Selectivity is not optional, it's mandatory. Scarcity is your greatest weapon in a culture addicted to endless availability. Energy is currency. Every man spends it, but few protect it. Your vibe is your wealth. Guard it like gold or watch poverty spread. Your energy either multiplies or drains. Multiplication attracts allies, women, respect. Drainage attracts leeches, problems, disrespect. The secret isn't more effort, it's better alignment. Ask yourself, why would she invest in you if you're bankrupt in spirit? Why would anyone follow a man radiating fatigue, emptiness, collapse? Energy isn't about smiling fake, it's about alignment. When your purpose matches your habits, you glow without effort. That glow becomes contagious, magnetic. What if you're tired? What if you're low? Then stop pouring. Energy grows from restoration. Energy grows from stillness. Energy grows from ruthless input control. Sleep is ritual 1. Training is ritual 2. Fasting from noise is ritual 3. Rituals recharge men. Energy isn't stolen, it's cultivated. Start there. A drained man enters a room. No one notices. A charged man enters. The air shifts. Same man, different energy. Presence is multiplied currency. If she drains you, eject. If she feeds you, invest. If he mocks your rituals, cut him. Energy is sacred. Protect it. He didn't attract respect because he worked harder. He attracted respect because he was charged. She didn't stay because he begged. She stayed because he radiated. Micro story, his friends laughed at his strict rituals. No late nights, no endless parties. Months later, they wondered why women followed him. Leaders respected him. Energy. If he trains, you invest. If he neglects, you withdraw. If she builds, you build. If she drains, you vanish. Energy demands reciprocation. Your vibe is your wealth. Your posture speaks before your mouth. Your eyes reveal your battery level. People sense what you carry before you speak. Why do celebrities draw crowds? Energy. Why do some men command rooms without words? Energy. Why do kings need guards? Their energy already intimidates. If you doubt energy's power, look around. Why do some men attract women effortlessly? Not money, not looks. Energy. Alignment. Vibrates. Misalignment repels silently. You thought attraction was tricks. Wrong. It's power flow. He didn't win because he begged. He won because he radiated. She didn't invest reluctantly. She invested magnetically. Energy isn't faked. Faking kills you. Energy is cultivated through still mornings, through disciplined training, through fasting from endless scrolling, through aligning habits with chosen mission. A man with drained energy sells himself cheap. A man with charged energy feels priceless. Who do you think the world remembers, follows, crowns? Energy isn't about hype. It's about charge. True charge comes from discipline. Discipline in sleep, discipline in nutrition, discipline in purpose. Discipline keeps your battery full. Guard your mornings, guard your nights, guard your social inputs. Every distraction costs currency. Every leak drains you. Every ritual strengthens you. Build unshakable rituals now. She didn't lose interest because you lacked jokes. She lost interest because your battery was dead. She didn't chase because you tried. She chased because you glowed. Energy makes silence loud. Energy makes pauses powerful. Energy makes rooms stop. Energy multiplies authority. Without energy, words collapse. With energy, even stillness speaks louder than speeches. When you're aligned, people feel it. They don't need convincing. They sense certainty. Energy doesn't ask permission. Energy declares value without begging. Energy makes kings magnetic. Your energy is finite. Spend it wisely. Don't waste it proving yourself. Don't waste it on noise. Don't waste it on people who drain. He didn't become magnetic by chance. He became magnetic by discipline. He didn't win because he tried harder. He won because he conserved harder. You can't outsource your charge. No one else can sleep for you. No one else can fast for you. No one else can train. Every man has two banks, attention and energy. Spend both wisely. Waste both, and you're broke. Guard both, and you're wealthy. Energy multiplies respect naturally. Why would she chase you if you look dead? Why would men follow you if your eyes scream fatigue? Alignment fixes fatigue permanently. Energy isn't about mood swings. Energy is about baseline charge. Build it through clean rituals. Protect it through boundaries. Multiply it through alignment. Energy is currency. If you wake tired, fix inputs. If you train sloppy, fix habits. If you feel drained, fix boundaries. Energy never lies. Neither do results. The world doesn't pity drained men. The world ignores them. But it remembers charged men. It remembers kings. It remembers men whose energy redefined entire rooms. Microstory. He walked into a boardroom drained, invisible. Weeks later, same man rested, trained, aligned. The board stopped. Silence hit. Everyone noticed. Energy spoke louder. If he builds your energy, stay close. If he drains, cut ties. If she doubles your charge, invest deeply. If she weakens, withdraw instantly. Energy isn't optional. Energy is essential. Without it, you're invisible. With it, you're undeniable. Protect it like a king protects his throne. Guard it relentlessly. You'll face doubt. You'll ask, is alignment enough? Look at those men glowing without effort. Look at their orbit. Look at their results. Energy proves it. Energy reframes reality. She didn't leave because you lacked value. She left because you radiated emptiness. He didn't mock discipline. He envied your charge. Your phone drains you. Junk drains you. Sleep deprivation drains you. Cheap company drains you. Fix inputs. Fix alignment. Fix rituals. Energy saved is energy multiplied. A drained man is disposable. A charged man is indispensable. Which one are you? Which one do you want to be remembered as? Energy makes rules stick. Energy makes leadership natural. Energy makes attraction automatic. Protect it. Grow it. Multiply it. Energy is not accessory, it's your foundation, your wealth. Stop spending on noise, stop leaking into distractions, start charging through discipline, start fasting from weak habits. Energy turns average men into magnets. Protect it. He didn't stand out because of his clothes, he stood out because of his charge. She didn't admire his wealth, she admired his presence. If you lose energy, you lose leverage. If you lose leverage, you lose attraction. If you lose attraction, you lose respect. Protect energy first. Energy creates certainty. Certainty creates gravity. Gravity attracts everything. Men follow gravity, women invest in gravity. Opportunities chase gravity. Energy is gravity. Energy turns men into forces. Why are kings rare? Energy. Why are leaders magnetic? Energy. Why do the disciplined glow while others fade? Energy. The answer never changes. Protect charge. Final rule: if she drains, eject. If she builds, invest. If they mock, filter. If rituals demand sacrifice, obey. Energy is currency. Multiply it. Withdrawal is leverage. Most men beg to stay, but the powerful man knows leaving is his weapon. Walking away creates gravity. Silence, undeniable pull. He didn't lose her when he left. He tested her. She didn't chase because of fear. She chased because absence revealed value, presence magnified. The law of withdrawal is brutal. It says, if they cannot value you in presence, they will crave you in absence. Remember that. You fear being forgotten. You fear becoming invisible. But understand, people forget noise, not silence. People forget excess, not absence. Withdrawal is unforgettable clarity. Ask yourself, what costs more, your absence or your presence? Which version of you holds more weight? Which choice leaves the greater mark? Reflect now. When you always stay, you devalue yourself. When you walk, you increase demand. Economics of attraction. Scarcity drives value. Scarcity is created through withdrawal. Micro-story. A man leaves mid-argument, calm. She mocks him at first. Hours later, silence hits. That night, she calls, not fear, respect. Presence earned. Rule: if she crosses, you exit. If she follows, you lead. If she resents your exit, you just revealed her dependency on chaos. Withdrawal reframes everything. He didn't disappear, he created space. She didn't chase because she lost control. She chased because respect replaced noise. Silence commanded her. Most men think staying proves loyalty. Wrong. Staying proves fear. Leaving proves abundance. Withdrawal isn't loss. Withdrawal is leverage. Scarcity of presence builds true demand. Why does walking away terrify you? Because you equate absence with weakness. Yet absence is power. Absence filters loyalty. Absence shows who returns voluntarily. Imagine two men, one clings through chaos, desperate, the other leaves calmly, composed. Guess who gets called back? Guess who's respected later? Always withdrawal. He didn't stay because he was weak. He left because he was strong. She didn't cry because of loneliness. She cried because respect grew. When you withdraw, you force choice. They can step forward or stay behind. Either way, clarity arrives. Withdrawal makes truth visible without explanation. Withdrawal is law because nature obeys it. The tide pulls back, then returns stronger. Trees shed leaves, then bloom. Absence always precedes renewed demand. Do not confuse withdrawal with ghosting. Ghosting is childish avoidance. Withdrawal is conscious power. You don't run, you retreat strategically. You don't hide, you declare standards. She tests you. She pushes boundaries. If you fold, she loses respect. If you withdraw, she recalibrates. Men who withdraw rewrite relationship terms instantly. Doubt whispers, "But won't she forget me?" No. If silence doesn't reveal your value, her interest was illusion. Withdrawal doesn't destroy interest. It exposes truth. You think leaving is loss. Wrong. Leaving is test. If she values, she follows. If she doesn't, she frees you. Withdrawal reveals alignment instantly. Micro story. He withdrew from friends who mocked his discipline. They laughed. Months later, they saw his success. Suddenly, they called. Withdrawal turned mockery into admiration. Every king practices withdrawal. Kings don't chase, they summon. Kings don't beg. They allow. Their absence shakes courts. Their silence weighs more than shouts. Be kingly. Withdrawal is masculine edge, sharpened. Women respect men who can leave calmly. Men respect leaders who withdraw from noise. Markets respect brands that stay scarce. If he stays after disrespect, you leave. If she tests boundaries, you withdraw. If they mock discipline, you retreat. Withdrawal enforces gravity without debate. He didn't keep respect by staying. He kept respect by leaving. She didn't miss him because of need. She missed him because of rising value. Withdrawal requires stillness. No begging. No explanations. Just exit. The silence you leave becomes the echo that redefines the room. That echo builds demand. Most men crumble during withdrawal. They panic. They text. They return. That panic kills leverage. Stillness in absence is what makes withdrawal magnetic, unforgettable. Your presence must feel like a reward. Your absence must feel like a punishment. That balance keeps people aligned. Withdrawal calibrates both forces perfectly. When you withdraw, do it calm. No theatrics, no anger. Calm exit is scarcer than gold. Anger is noise. Calm silence is currency. Why do luxury brands withdraw supply? Scarcity. Why do leaders step back? Authority. Why do women chase absent men? Value. Withdrawal makes absent men value. Withdrawal makes absence irresistible presence. Rule. If she follows, you lead. If she resists, you let go. If he mocks, you disappear. If they crave, you've proven worth. Withdrawal is clarity weaponized. You no longer wonder who values you. You know, because absence exposes truth louder than constant presence ever could. He didn't fail by walking away. He proved abundance. She didn't chase out of weakness. She chased because withdrawal revealed gravity. That's leverage, not loss. Walking away is not retreat. It is advance. It advances your value. It advances clarity. It advances respect. Withdrawal moves the game forward in silence. Stop fearing absence. Start practicing withdrawal. Presence without boundaries is cheap. Absence with purpose is priceless. Withdrawal is not weakness. It's wealth. It's magnetic. It's law. You think you need clever tactics. You think you need memorized lines. Wrong. You need identity. You need standards. Without them, tactics collapse instantly. Tactics are surface level. Identity runs bone deep. Women may admire wit, but they respect weight. Do you want to be remembered as clever or unshakable? Clever fades. unshakable echoes. The man who stands firm writes his legacy without opening his mouth, because presence is louder than performance, and silence stronger than chatter. You doubt yourself, but I don't know who I am yet. Fine. Start small. Define what you refuse. Standards start by saying no. Identity doesn't begin with possessions or titles. It begins with lines you never let anyone cross. Respect drawn in stone, not sand, never negotiable. Imagine a broke man. Empty pockets, small room, worn shoes. Yet, when spoken to with disrespect, he refused it. His spine stayed unbroken. Years later, with wealth, power, and success, everyone realized he was the same man all along. The money didn't define him. His backbone already did. That's the paradox. Money amplifies identity but never replaces it. If you're weak before it, you're weaker with it. If you're strong, wealth becomes irrelevant. Reframe it. He didn't wait to find himself. He decided what he wouldn't tolerate. She didn't respect his status. She respected his standards. So, who are you without scripts? Are you a man shifting his mask, or one whose face never changes, no matter the audience? If he plays games, you stand silent. If he rushes to impress, you lean back. If they demand, you decline. Standards are identity lived. The rule is brutal. If you don't define yourself, the world defines you. And the world always defines in its own interests, not yours. Your standard is your fortress. Without it, you're just clay molded by opinions, reshaped by approval, erased by rejection. Do you want to live that? Every tactic without identity is noise. Every line without standard is air. You must stop trying to be impressive and start being immovable. The world whispers lies, blend in, bend, be agreeable. Yet women, mentors, even rivals, all secretly test if you'll bend. Most men fail instantly, but here's your chance to decide. Will you be remembered for tactics they forgot tomorrow, or standards they can't forget even decades later? Standards don't shout, they breathe. They sit quietly across the table, steady and unshaken. Silence speaks. I don't need your approval to remain whole. Reframe again. He didn't lose her by refusing disrespect. He kept himself. She didn't walk away because he was broke. She walked because he was weak. Strength is invisible until tested. You don't build identity during comfort. You reveal it during friction. Fire doesn't create steel. It exposes whether you were steel already. So when you ask, "Who am I?" stop hunting for scripts. Ask, "What will I never allow?" That answer begins the man you are. You don't need more lines. You don't need strategies stolen from forums. You need standards carved in stone. That is identity. That is attraction. Women don't crave games. They crave ground. They test for strength. Yes, but underneath every test is the same question: can I trust you? Trust isn't soft. Trust is steel. Can she lean on your silence, or does your silence leak weakness? Can she breathe under your presence? Here's the paradox. She may push your buttons to see what breaks. Not because she wants chaos, but because she craves certainty inside chaos. If she can't feel safety in your frame, she'll build her own without you. If she feels safety, she'll follow, not because forced but freed. Picture this. A man sits at dinner. She complains, expecting arguments. He doesn't defend, doesn't boast. He listens. She softens, not impressed but contained. That's the moment. Not his words, not his resume, his restraint. She realized he doesn't need to prove anything. He is already anchored. What if she doesn't trust you yet? Stop begging for trust. Trust isn't gifted, it's built. You stack it daily through consistency, calm, and boundaries unshaken. Reframe it. He didn't silence her with dominance. He silenced her fears with steadiness. She didn't relax because he talked. She relaxed because he held. Your presence must be an anchor. If she spirals into storm, you don't spiral too. If she seeks chaos, you bring order, calm, certain, contained. And if she already brings order, you don't compete, you expand it. You amplify the peace she's cultivating by being even steadier, even wider. Men without frames chase tactics, louder jokes, quicker responses, fake confidence. But frames are not performed. They're lived. A man who holds still holds power. If he chases her validation, you anchor in self-respect. If he flexes his noise, you flex your stillness. If he cracks, you remain whole. Remember, the frame she can trust isn't controlling her. It's controlling yourself. Your emotions, your impulses, your reactions. That's where attraction and respect actually live. Because in the end, she doesn't fall for the man who entertains her. She falls for the man whose presence calms storms she can't name. He didn't chase her, he chased his mission. He didn't ask for attention, he commanded it by becoming undeniable. He didn't beg, he embodied. He didn't wonder if she'd notice. He ensured she couldn't ignore him. He didn't try to impress. He became impressive by living his standard. He didn't pray for attraction. He practiced discipline until attraction became a side effect. He didn't collapse under doubt. He built stillness that magnetized. He didn't cling to validation. He anchored in values. He didn't demand loyalty. He inspired it. He didn't request respect. He radiated it. He didn't fear being overlooked. He weaponized patience. And in that patience, attraction arrived, not as a prize given, but as a law obeyed. Understand, attraction without asking is not magic. It's gravity. Who begs gravity to work? Who negotiates oxygen? It's not earned. It's inevitable. But how long will it take? As long as it takes you to stop faking. As long as it takes you to become immovable. Reframe your fear. They didn't abandon you. They exposed your neediness. They didn't reject you. They redirected you toward the man you're supposed to become. Picture this. A man quits chasing, stops calling, deletes desperation. Months pass. Suddenly people ask, what changed? Nothing changed outside. Everything shifted inside. He glows. That glow isn't fake confidence. It's alignment. His life became his gravity. He didn't try to attract. Attraction arrived. Quiet, certain, inevitable. That's sovereignty. If he begs for affection, you embody purpose. If he sacrifices standards, you protect them. If he asks for validation, you radiate without permission. Attraction is not requested, it's received. When you stop asking, you start receiving. When you stop chasing, you start drawing. When you stop begging, you become. He didn't lose her, he taught her. He didn't chase, he selected. He didn't wait, he filtered. He didn't demand, he embodied. He didn't perform, he anchored. Walking away wasn't defeat, it was demonstration. Silence wasn't emptiness, it was clarity. Stillness wasn't weakness, it was strength disguised as patience. When he walked away, he didn't disappear, he expanded. Absence became his loudest statement. Presence became her clearest memory. That's leverage. That's education without explanation. Choosing less wasn't scarcity, it was abundance. He proved worth by refusing distraction. He showed value not in collecting options, but in eliminating noise. Filtering wasn't rejection. It was revelation. Silence separated the temporary from the timeless. The loud fell away. The consistent endured. Standards exposed the authentic. Embodiment outshined demands. He didn't shout rules, he radiated them. Words were optional. Conduct was law. His presence enforced boundaries more than lectures ever could. Anchoring replaced performing. Tricks expired. Presence endured. He didn't compete with entertainers. He became the gravity they orbited. Real attraction settled where performance collapsed. Ask yourself, do you want to impress or to endure? Do you want applause or allegiance? One fades with noise, the other grows in silence. If he begs for time, you hold yours sacred. If he clings for validation, you embody it. If he fakes confidence, you anchor. Identity isn't borrowed, it's built. Attraction without begging is the byproduct of standards lived daily. Stillness is seductive. Selectivity is power. Standards are magnetic sovereignty. Behaviors are not people, and you must remember that distinction. Attack the action, not the human. Judgment clouds. Discernment clarifies. Keep it clean. Influence without respect collapses into manipulation. Consent is the line. Cross it, and you've lost yourself. Attraction isn't conquest, it's mutual recognition. Anything less is theft. Your mastery is self-governance, not exploitation. You refine discipline to rule yourself, not others. Control that violates autonomy isn't strength, it's corruption parading as power. Where law, health, or finance intersect, humility wins. Seek professionals. Your pride doesn't replace expertise. Wisdom is knowing limits. Maturity is honoring them without resistance.